How we doing, folks? Doug Ross. Well, I am here again in an undisclosed uh, location somewhere in Phoenix, Arizona, nice little park. And I'm coming to you. Do appreciate any and all of you that may not only be here live, but also will be here during the replay. I hope to be here for a minute. We're going to discuss a lot of things. We're going to go into the current events that are shaking the foundation of not only the world, but of Negroes everywhere as we watch Donald Trump enact every kind of malice he can find towards the United States and specifically towards us Negroes who he despises so very much. So I'm going to remind you each to please like, subscribe, share. We're live at 10, and there it is there. I do appreciate your time, appreciate you tuning in to hear me. There is so much that we need to unpack as we hurtle headlong into the future. So much that Donald Trump is trying to enact, and the stitch will require a suture. I don't know. I'm trying to flow a little bit today. But it is Sunday. It is the 16th of February. It is officially Black History Month. How dare they give us the shortest month of the year to celebrate the history Donald Trump is so desperately trying to stamp out of existence. But with the help of people like Elon Musk, a South African reject who experienced the dismantling of apartheid in his lifetime, feeling like a second and third class citizen in his own country. He left that country to come here, pursue his wealth, glommed on the efforts of so many others who were far more successful than he, and has now amassed himself a fortune beyond his wildest dreams and our wildest nightmares. And he is using that power given by that wealth to affect the political, governmental systems of the United States and mold them into his making through the puppet of Donald Trump, whose hand he has so firmly up the ass of Donald Trump. And yes, this is going to be that kind of show. So, first, let me tell you, folks, I do use profanity. I want to let you know that there are occasions that I will slide into the foul stench of profanity. For some, that is an offense. And to those, I say, well, let you commence to leaving if you are so offended by my language. But this language, as I've said before on many social media platforms, is a language given to us through threat of death, through threat of annihilation. And I will use this language as I see fit. And that is the end of that. If you choose to get spiritual nourishment, I always encourage you to go to the likes of Minister Yacoba, Minister Teu, Minister Dante Forts. And those are the only three ministers that I allow to minister to me. And the rest are as far as the eye can see. I don't see any others, and that is just my choice. But this is not the place to hear spirit-led voice. I am fortunately will try to give you Negro news, news that we can use, news that is to our benefit and our knowledge. And I'm going to try to catch you up today on a few things that may be of import to you as a Negro in America. Their system is being dismantled. The system that they have enjoyed so much that allows them to ride the wave of white supremacy in this country is slowly but surely being dismantled as it's made to being looked upon as being made stronger. And if you are not adept at watching the tide that is rising and what the idiots and morons that have control of the U.S. government are doing, it is a sight to see. It is a sight to see, both internationally and domestically. The sycophants that Donald Trump has put in place has blown up in his lily white face, and it is going to get worse. Now, we can go one by one as we itemize all that we see. We understand the tariffs that he's placing upon the globe are backfiring in his very face. We see the Mexican president, who is very well spoken, adept at conveying thought and idea. She is putting her verbal foot up Donald Trump's monkey ass. And she's doing it with just a touch of class, isn't she? As he complains about all the drugs that United States citizens are using, she is turning the tables on his narrative, and it is amusing. I will say that. Uh, we've also got what he's doing currently to the folks in Ukraine. What he's doing for Russia is downright insane. He is capitulating in every respect, giving Russia everything they wanted. And he's doing so being kowtowed, beaten, broken, beaten down by Putin, who has to have some compromise on this cretin. I can't imagine that whatever he has on Donald Trump, it's got to be worse than we can imagine, because he's flipping over like a turtle exposing his underbelly to the world. He's making America the global pariah that I had hoped Israel would become. And we all know that once America falls, Israel will not be too far behind. They seem to have gone about putting a news blackout on a lot of things that would be beneficial for us to know, for us to understand, for us to realize. And that was done rather quickly as soon as he ascended to office. So, a little bit about me. My name is Doug Rice. Thank you so much for showing up, for tuning in. I have not done a show in quite a while. I've not done a live in well over a year. Please like, subscribe, share this live as we talk about their system being dismantled. We know that it is far more than any of them can handle. And it is flipping, isn't it? One note I like to pay particular attention to is they worked hard to take away what they thought were freebies given to citizens in this country, specifically Negroes, the food stamps, welfare, the social security, all of these things that they've worked so hard to try to dissemble. And the first step they've taken in going after U.S. aid and going after other public funding mechanisms, they did not understand that the DEI included these farmers that are now feeling the pinch of having subsidies being taken away from them. And for the most part, the farmers that supported Donald Trump voted for him, voted against their own best interests. Let me explain. There are a lot of places that you can go on YouTube, online, to find out exactly how this mechanism works. But in the short, for those that are on subsidized food, WIC, food stamps, these things, all of the governmental programs that assist people in eating and just being able to feed themselves, those subsidies ultimately go to the very farmers that are now losing the subsidies they were promised by the US government as Trump and Elon Musk eliminate these programs one by one, something they promised that they would do. We took a look at Agenda 2025, at that particular document. We understood full well the itemized, step by step, methodical process that he is now ticking off point by point through this document. And it is proving to have more of an affect on individuals who supported Donald Trump than individuals who didn't. Case in point, USAID and these other farming subsidized Americans who own farmland, generationally owned this for years. They have been promised certain monies given to them if they complied with U.S. regulations in one form or another. And some of them are now receiving letters that are telling them that they will not be paid the money promised by the US government due to the cuts that are being done effectively by Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk, who, in my estimation, is the president of the United States, Donald Trump is but a puppet, a tool, a useful idiot that Elon Musk has pumped money into to gain control and support for all the things that he wishes to do. Some of the governmental programs and departments that Elon Musk is targeting have targeted him in the past, have investigated him in the past. And now he has seen fit to get retribution, payback, if you will, in defunding some of these departments and, in effect, laying off hundreds, if not thousands, of government workers. And this is being felt across the country. Oh, yes, folks. Some folks online have talked about leopards eating faces. Well, that's what's happening right now. And mostly these middle age, middle class, or upper middle class white families who are systematically voting against their own interests supported Donald Trump in doing all that he is doing to now take away their livelihood, their way of sustaining their generationally kept farms. And there will be big farms big farm companies that will come in and gladly purchase and buy up the farmland that can now not be sustained through use of the cuts being done by Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I got to tell you, this Doge thing, this Department of Government, whatever it is, it's a front. He is milking off money while claiming that billions upon billions of dollars are being used through governmental agencies ineffectively. One of the things that I saw posted by one of my friends on Facebook was the fact that USAID is supposedly taking so much money from the United States government when nothing could be further from the truth. USAID, I believe, gets less than 2% of governmental funding available through mandate. And you have to ask yourself, as he takes over departments of justice, as he puts in place uh, people that are unqualified, by like Mr. Hegseth or whatever his name is, Department of Defense Secretary, who loves to take drinks at the podium and answer benignly, nonsensically regarding subjects that are far weightier than his intellectual ability to even explain. Uh, just the domestic chaos that has now been caused by Donald Trump and Elon Musk is enough to make your head spin. And they are going about using the agencies that deport people, like ICE, trying to use them like scalpels and deporting all of these individuals who have been here for years doing the jobs that poor whites will not do. And we got to ask ourselves one thing here, folks. What are they preparing for as they go after Department of Education and all of these other departments that have long held standing in the United States government? Someone had mentioned to me that perhaps they don't want the American populace educated enough to feel the need to say they can do no more than pick fruits and vegetables, because somebody's going to pick the fruits and vegetables. And though their target is Negroes, though we know what they are after, generally what they are after at all times, and what their sights are set on is us, folks. I will tell you without doubt, they are threatening other countries that are doing what they seem harm to Europeans, to whites. Case in point, we'll talk about South Africa. South Africa is now, the EFF, I believe, is going after the farmland taken by whites who invaded the bottom half of Africa centuries ago and now claim that as a homeland. And the way they are doing it, though questionable in some people's minds, is far less impactful than the land was taken from the indigenous population of black people that lived there in the first place. And so we see Donald Trump making claims on X and other social media platforms that these governmental agencies in South Africa are treating certain citizens, certain people, specific people, wrong. And he wants to sanction them into oblivion. I suggest that some of you go and look at the responses of the African leaders in South Africa who've effectively told Donald Trump to go fuck himself. In the most eloquent kind of way and style, they've told him that he can do whatever he wants, that they will sanction the businesses, the American businesses that are in South Africa, and the pissing contest will continue. So they are dismantling the system that they've believed in so much. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, why do you think they are doing this? Why is it seems that Donald Trump is attacking every every kind of faculty that held the United States in sway, in its position, and seemingly assisting the decline, demise, and eventual destruction of the United States? Well, I think a lot of it has to do with inept and gregarious payback that he's trying to apply to those that saw fit to hold him accountable during the January 6th melee. Now, you guys know that on January 6th, 2020, that's when I began heavily doing my show as much as I was able to do. And it seems that Donald Trump is myopic in his viewpoint in deconstructing all of the agencies that hold crime, criminality in check. And he's doing so point by point by point. He's talking about dismantling the FBI, talking about dismantling agencies that look into foreign activity and the bribing of officials in the United States. This is something he's doing by instinct because he himself is as arch a criminal as you can possibly find. Donald Trump has absolutely no good qualities. He is a self centered, maniacal egomaniac that is half educated and as dangerous as you can imagine. But the real danger lies in his intent for Negroes. Their system being dismantled may come to play as a result of their realization that they cannot keep their numbers up. They may come to the realization that they've lost the center and it cannot hold. I have said over and over again that the individuals that might hold this racist white supremacist system in check have long since died in wars fought by brave men who went into the military, not those that dodged the draft. And what we have now, unfortunately, are weak, feckless cowards like Donald Trump and those that surround him, those he has appointed into positions of power. They don't have the mettle to go in the military and risk their lives for a country they claim to love. They would much rather send your children to places like Gaza and places like Ukraine. These are places that are being explored. These are options that he's taken into account. And let's discuss Gaza. So he got in front of a microphone a few days ago. I don't know if you guys saw it. Said that he was going to take Gaza. He's just going to take it, and just going to take it and develop it into a haven for 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 land and and vacationing, and he was just going to make it a wonderland for white people to go and relax on the beach. Well, I got to tell you, the dream that he envisions is just a little bit out of reach. First, the backlash that he got regarding that claim, I think, was kind of a bait and switch tactic. Would he like to go and take land that is not effectively his? When asked what gives you the authority, the right to take and claim that land in Gaza can be controlled by the United States, and he said, by the authority of the United States, we will do so. Well, there's a backstory to this mechanized move, and that is there are gas fields on the shores of Gaza, natural gas fields within the ocean and its depths that are valued in the trillions of dollars, not millions, not billions, but the trillions of dollars. And let me just tell you this: the Palestinian Authority has full control over the rights to the natural gas off the coast of Gaza. That cannot be changed. They are already in partnership with other countries, other systems that are prepared to extract that natural gas and, of course, gain wealth from it. The Gazans will benefit. The Palestinians who originally resided in Gaza will benefit directly from that extraction. They will be the new millionaires and billionaires once they are permitted to go back into their land. And just, I believe, yesterday, we saw the Arab League get in front of microphones, all of the Arab nations, and claim without equivocation that the Palestinian people who occupied Gaza will, in fact, return. They will not be displaced, they will not be moved elsewhere. So, the thought and idea is that if that were to happen, if Donald Trump were to try to make that happen, he would send the children of Americans to defend his wealth expectations, to defend and promote the development of land over in that area so that he can further become more of a millionaire than he is. He's not a billionaire. We all know that. He is just a millionaire. So, in every direction Donald Trump is moving, he alienates the United States. And by knee jerk reaction and just by systematic, step by step movement, their system is being dismantled. Let me just say this, folks. You can't make all the moves that Donald Trump is making and not know that the end result will be exceedingly bad. He's angering every nation that he can possibly anger. And uh, if you want to go up north, well, he's talking about annexing Canada and making it the 51st state. I need you to understand the hubris of the white male mind to think that because their numbers in this country are diminishing to the point of extinction in just a few short decades, that he might add to the numbers of European white people by annexing countries like Canada, like Greenland, and just take the country. Some have spoken into existence his methodical mimicking of Hitler's trajectory. The fact that he is following Hitler's playbook, saying the same things that Hitler is said during his rise to power. And if you cannot see the parallels between his attitude and the moves made by Adolf Hitler in the 1930s, then you're not a history buff. You're not studying history. He's literally following his playbook. He wants to do all the things that Hitler did. But in this respect, he's cooperating with the Russians at this point, trying to capitulate and give Vladimir Putin everything that Vladimir Putin wanted at the beginning and since before his invasion of Ukraine. He wants to annex the land that Putin has gained from this war effort. He wants capitulation from Ukraine in every respect. And recently, he announced that there were talks that he's put together in Saudi Arabia between Putin himself and delegates from Ukraine to come about with a peace plan. Now, I don't know if you watch the news as religiously as I do, but Ukraine was not invited to that meeting. Ukraine was not invited to this supposed peace session, this peace negotiation that Donald Trump has sent delegates to represent the United States for. These folks have no idea what is occurring and how, under what authority, he has determined that he will begin to negotiate a peace with Russia with Ukraine absent. Folks, this is not a mistake. This is not by chance. This is prophetically driven activity because it's as crazy as it can possibly get. This is beyond the pale of reasoning, and we ain't seen nothing yet. Uh, my name's Doug Rice. I do thank you for showing up again. Their system is being dismantled is the title of this effort. You guys know how I do this. I kind of give you a narrative of what I've seen in the news over the last few days and something for you to think about. If you would, please uh, hit the like and the share and the subscribe button. Share this with your friends, share this with your family, share this with everyone you see fit. Now, let's talk about his intent toward Negroes, shall we? I don't know if you've heard of this. This is the latest thing. Donald Trump is going to make it a crime to have bad credit in America. No, no, no. Look it up. What he's trying to do is make bad credit punishable by 10 years in prison, and then all the other mechanisms that they give folks who don't have decent credit in this country. And I don't know about you, but I live as a Negro in this country, and I've experienced everything a Negro can experience. So my credit's not the best that there is. I would never expect that I might do time for not having good credit, but the social credit score that is most certainly coming to this country will affect primarily people of color, people like you and me. And since we see that Elon Musk is at the right hand of Donald Trump, we can understand how his attitude toward Negroes might be. He is not a friend of Negroes. We have no friends. We have no allies. And it's interesting that all of the systems that he attacks socially have a direct correlation to Negroes in this country in taking away our quality of life in best as best that he can muster. He's talking about Medicaid. He's talking about cutting off Medicaid. He's talking about cutting off food stamps and making food stamps less accessible. He's talking about cutting off the systems that pay Social Security. Um, Recently, I don't know if you heard this latest, this is a pretty good one. Those Americans that have decided to leave this country and go elsewhere, having worked hard for years at a job somewhere here, moved out of the country and have started or are collecting their Social Security, guess what? Their Social Security has been cut off. Yeah, they're not really announcing too much of the newsworthy subjects anymore, as Donald Trump has put a clamp down on the news. He has made news much more difficult to report. But what you are seeing is the slow, mechanized stranglehold of all that is valuable in this country. He wants to control not only the purse strings of the country, the tax dollars that you pay into this system, he now controls, or he has his sycophants control. The medical systems, the educational systems, the public systems, the systems that assist folks in eating, in taking care of themselves. He now wants full measure and control of all of these systems in his hand directly so that he can punish his enemies and reward those he he considers friends until the time comes that he might turn on them. And how this affects us directly is that he is at the same time fomenting and egging on the white supremacists of this country, the neo-Nazis of this country, you know, the losers, the folks that couldn't seem to bring it together during World War II. Yeah, well, I know you guys heard about the bridge incident in Cincinnati. You know, we got white males, all testosteroned up yet still weak, that decided they wanted to go to a bridge in one of the blackest places in Cincinnati and show their monkey asses. Well, I think we all saw how that ended up. We had brothers and sisters go there and run them off like the cowards they are. This is something that Donald Trump wants deeply to occur. He wants, as most weak white racist men want, he wants a race war. Now, the only problem with a race war is that this ain't the 1920s and 1930s and 1940s. This ain't the 1800s. Okay, brothers got guns. Brothers got ways of defending themselves, and I don't think there are too many that have been in the service, come out of the service, that have a proclivity toward firing a shot a few of these crackers and letting them know this ain't them. This ain't that time. This is another time. This is a time when black folks will have the temerity to defend themselves. So I don't know that a race war is what they truly want. I think what they really want is a civil war. I think what they'll more likely get is a war between differing opinions on the direction this country may or may not go. I encourage black people, being the target of racist white people in America, to simply stay out of the way and out of the fray. Don't engage. Don't own any of the things that you see occurring in this country. Try not to get upset in your feelings about what may be the last and final gasp of America. I do believe that there is a kingdom coming. I believe that all of this is moving in the direction toward the formation of the kingdom. And how that occurs, I can't tell you exactly. Any clues that you might gather are best gathered from brother Teu or brother Jacoba and brother and brother Dante Fortson. You probably better and best take a cue from them to find out just how it may all come to pass. But what I will say is this: there has to be a way made for us to leave this place. And I believe that will happen. Now, lately, I've come to understand that there were, and the fact that there are Negroes that were here long before Native Americans, pretendians, $5 Indians came into being. I understand that. And one of the things that I've concluded is that though this may have been our land long ago, thousands of years ago, the taint and the blood spilled to obtain this land by these racist white European Edomites has put a stain on all of this. All of this has a stain, and I'd prefer to go back to Negro land if I had my way, if I had my druthers. I don't know how this might go for others, but I'm looking, as Brother Teau has mentioned and Brother Jacoba has mentioned, for a way out of here. And they may be making the way for us to leave. They may be encouraging through edict and act and signage a way for Negroes to get out. But keep in mind, for those that rabble rouse and those that may want to get in the fray, they have a place for us. And I think Donald Trump is making that place for us as we speak. He's talked about taking U.S. citizens and putting them in Guantanamo Bay. He's talked about taking citizens, U.S. citizens, and putting them in the El Salvadorian prisons that we have all seen so much ado about. I hope that is not my destination. And so I look for some way, somehow, to leave this place behind. and more before they begin to shoot at one another, because that's what's coming. You see, Donald Trump is making enemies. He's making enemies in every sector of the United States imaginable. He's pissing off the richest to the poorest. They are now in the find out phase. During the vote, what they did was fuck around, and now a lot of them are finding out. And the Simpsons are rarely wrong. I've seen the Simpsons and their predictions for Mr. Trump, and I got to tell you, I've not seen them miss too far off the mark yet. But that aside, I just wanted to bring everyone up to speed, trying to give you as much information as you need. Don't want to make this live too long. I could be, I could go on. I could, but I wanted to bring out just a few things, let you know what was happening around the globe. You got to keep your head on the swivel, folks. Keep your eyes on the prize. For goodness sake, it's getting more and more dangerous. It's getting more and prescient to stay as far from these Edomites as possible. But let me just say this about that. Have you seen them? Have you looked at them? Now look, I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I have not seen so many white folks doing so bad in all my life. And I mean, not just the homelessness, not just the destitution, not just the begging at the corners and at the highways and the on ramps and at the QTs and at the Circle Ks. No, 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 no. I'm talking about that sun above them that seemingly is deconstructing these weakened individuals, both mentally and physically. I mean, people that look to be 80 are actually in their 50s. People that look to be 50 are actually in their 20s, and it seems to be, it seems to be countrywide. I do drive a cab for a living. That's what I do now, and hope that I might get some of your support as well. Cab driving isn't a wealth induced profession, but I see quite a few every day as I traipse throughout this valley, and I got to tell you, folks, they're not looking good. They're looking like they look as if it's all about to come to an end. Some of them have just walk around with a look of being lost on their faces, and some of them look as if they wish we were not in their spaces. This is the reason I say you got to stay clear of these individuals. These Edomite heathen Neanderthals are slowly but surely feeling the pressure of their soon to come demise. And all of the evidence that we can see is right before our eyes. Oh, goodness, I had to get that in. All right, well, that's all I really wanted to say. I'm in this, 40 minutes? I can't do this all day. I got a cab to drive. But I hope you guys can hear me. I hope you hear me well. And the next time I see you, I'll probably have a story to tell. My name's Doug Rice. I do appreciate your being here with me. I pray that you are having a good day. I pray that you are staying out of the way. And I pray to see you some other day. You guys have a good one. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye now.